No matter what kind of grass you have, you can change the look of your entire yard just by edging your beds like a pro. Now that sounds easy, but for a lot of people it's just not. And that's the point of today's video. I'm going to show you some tips to get edges like this, crisp and clean, to really set your landscape apart. Is the only tool you're going to need to do this job. In the US we call these string trimmers or weed eaters or even a weed whacker. In the UK they're known as strimmers, and in Australia they're known as whippersnippers. But whatever you call it, this is all we need. So I always like to start on the upper part of the bed, which is this portion right here. But if you have a mower that cuts right up to the edge of the bed, you could skip this part, but I find that your average mower is not going to do the very edge, so you've got to start on the surface. Now as we get started, watch very closely. I started on the left-hand side of this bed and I'm walking to the right. And as we zoom in, we're already going to see our first problem. I am blowing grass all into the bed. This is the most common question I get on my videos. How do I prevent this from happening? Because it really messes up the look. So let's look at a different way to get rid of this mess. Now here I'm doing the same job, same trimmer, and I'm standing in the same position, but I started on the right hand side and I'm walking to the left. So what this is doing now is shooting the grass clippings away from the bed. So this is a great tip to solve a major problem that you may be experiencing at home, and now your beds stay clean. So if you've got grass clippings going the wrong way, just walk in the opposite direction and your problem will be solved. So now I've finished doing the upper part of my bed. Now I've just got to cut in and do the edge, which seems like the easy part, or certainly the most noticeable part of this bed. Now is, how are you going to hold this trimmer to edge the side of your bed? This is a big question that a lot of people have. There's really actually no wrong way to do it if you get the result you want. So before we get started, I'll throw on my safety glasses and I'll show you a few ways that you can hold this that might work for you. You can do it the way some of the pros do it, like this, and hold on to it. Some people will even rest it up in their shoulder. I've never really found that this was a great method for me. It just seemed to always be awkward. It just felt like it was always a little bit off balance. So my preferred method is definitely use the handle, and then I let the weight of the trimmer kind of drop and I hold on to the handle, and this is actually very comfortable for me. Now don't be afraid to experiment and find something that works for you, but kind of holding it underneath my arm just like you see here works great for me, and I found it's very comfortable. Now the next thing a lot of people are going to comment is that I walk backwards most of the time when I'm edging. So this is a funny thing, because in some of my other videos I've gotten really heated up comments about why am I walking backwards, or sort of putting my feet behind each other, because again I'm walking backwards. But there is no right or wrong way. I've reviewed many of the manufacturers' material from Steel, Makita, and most of the directions do not indicate there's any wrong way. And in fact I've visited a lot of lawn sites that are on the internet, and there really is no consensus. About half of the people like to walk backwards, other people like to walk forward. I really can't explain why walking backwards feels more comfortable when you're edging, but for me it always has, and it does for a lot of people. So now let's put all those tips together, and I've got a few more to really make your beds pop. And the first one is, take your time. Speed will come in time, but don't rush it and you're not a pro. You want to go slow enough so that you can control the trimmer and get a good result. And as you can see, I'm walking backwards and I'm holding it just like I showed you earlier in the video. And this edge comes out pretty good, and I'm pleased with the result. Now here I showed you close-ups of how I hold the trimmer. This works very well for me and gives me a nice crisp edge, just like this. If you edge your beds, they really can make your landscape pop. Even if your grass isn't that great, they really make you stand out. And here's another tip. If you want to really clean up those edges, you can use a small blower like this or a gas blower, and it cleans the edge even more to make it really stand out. My final tip is on safety. You always want to wear safety glasses like these to protect your eyes. When you're string trimming, debris goes everywhere. Your eyes are the most important, and a good set of glasses like this will protect them. The next one is, I am wearing shorts in this video. I edge quite often. I'm very comfortable, so I don't have a problem wearing shorts. But if you're new to it or you're not comfortable, you should wear long pants to protect your legs from rocks or any other kind of debris.
And the last tip is, if your edges are very rough and you need to do something a little bit more intense, watch my video on using a shovel that can help you get your beds started with a clean edge. But then the rest of the season, all you should need to do is use your string trimmer to maintain great looking edges like this with not a lot of fuss. So I hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment below.